Who is the most famous person in your phone?
Oh.
And by most famous, I clearly mean got the most followers on social media because that's what makes them more famous.
Okay, so, well, most famous person I have in my phone
You
book.
might be mine now. That's crazy.
I'd say most famous person I have in my phone book will probably be Jason Plato. So
Should I know those?
he's the most winningest driver in the British Touring Car Championship of all time.
Winningest? Is that a word?
So winningest is technically correct grammar because he's
Yeah.
won the most amount of races, but he hasn't won the most amount of championships. So he's won up the lead like 93 races. He's just started his own racing team this year as well, Jason Plato Racing. He presented fifth gear for like 10, 15 years.
Right, it's embarrassing. I should know this is.
He's a big baller.
Okay.
Very, very talented racing driver. Altogether lovely human being.
Got him in your phone or your friends?
Bit of both.
If you call, I'm not going to ask you to do it. If you, that's what I should have done. Hi, I don't know who you are.
Yeah.
If you called him, would he pick up?
Probably not.
That's a him
He's
problem.
a very busy boy.
Sounds like a him problem.
He's a very busy boy.
Do you do fancy dress?
Do I do fancy
Yeah, do you
dress?
like it?
I don't like fancy dress, but I like dressing fancy.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Clearly.
Says me in China. Nice China.
There's nothing wrong with it. This is my suit of armour.
Yeah.
This is how I feel comfortable. I've always worn a stiff collared shirt, even when I was 12. Like we would go like as a group of like 15 of us at school. We would all go to like ASK for a birthday. Yeah, we'd say ASK. I don't know why. It's weird. North-South divide.
Maybe you're right.
Well, we always put it.
Does it exist?
I don't think it existed. No. There was an offshoot of it, and I can't remember what the name of that one was. But yeah, we would go to ASK and everybody be in like hoodies, and I'd be in a shirt and chinos, loafers.
Oh, Thomas.
Where'd
you get it from?
My grandma, I think. She always told me to be prim and proper, and she is the most important human being in my life. Like she, like so much so, I was born left-handed.
Don't tell me you're now right.
She trained me to be right-handed. Yeah,
love that.
Exactly. Like everything had to be done properly.
One down.
Nice.
So, this is a card that I have for other people that've been on the summit that I've interviewed, right?
Right.
I don't know if you can read it because my writing's horrendous. Tom Bridge Sitch. Now, I find this incredibly ironic.
Yeah.
Because a bridge in your life,
Mm.
there's been a much more important one, hasn't there?
Yeah, I would say definitely so.
Are you happy to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, of course. Okay. Like it's fine. It's water under the bridge, pardon the pun. Like I saw a bad guy get shot. Big deal. Like that's the way that I kind of look at it. That's how the way I processed it. Because it never touched the sides. Ever. Like as somebody that's mentally quite fragile from time to time, I would have thought watching a guy get turned into Wensleydale cheese would massively affect it. I've got a joke about it, right? Because otherwise it gets traumatic.
Dark, I get it. I mean, you know, policing background for me, it's I get it.
Yeah, and like at the end of the day, a bad guy got shot for doing bad things.
So we're talking about it's something Khan, is it?
I've never said his name and I never will.
Okay.
But yeah, terrorist, you're correct with his surname.
So there was a terrorist attack in November 2019?
Correct, yeah. So originally the perpetrator, he was originally locked up for a plot to blow up the London Stock Exchange and I believe Theresa May. Okay. He was then being rehabilitated.
Yes.
And was on some form of like day release rehabilitation.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, day release rehabilitation.
Yeah, so it was kind of like he was allowed outside of his cell. Well, I might even be getting that wrong. He might have been released. No, he had been released early, and this was part of his rehabilitation program.
Like a probationary type. You're monitored heavily.
Quite right. Yeah. And it's a case of right, you're on probation. We're going to try and make you into a citizen.
Not a lost cause.
Yeah. It obviously didn't work very well. He killed two of the people trying to rehabilitate him, Saskia Jones and Jack Merritt, who were both studying at Cambridge. And he, took their lives, ran out onto London Bridge, and then that's where I kind of stumbled upon the situation.
Where were you? What was happening?
So I was working at the time in the minis, taking people around London, and I was on my lunch break at Borough Market. We finished our lunch and we were going to, me and my colleague Stevie,
Okay.
who also intervened.
Oh, did he?
He did, yes. He was in a separate car, but that's by the by.
Yeah.
We were going from Borough Market over London Bridge, where you could still drive over London Bridge because you can't anymore, and then up to the Andaz Hotel at Liverpool Street.
Okay.
For a big, like, 7-car tour, something like that.
Okay.
Drive onto the bridge, find some standstill traffic. I'm like, well, London Bridge, that's standard, part of the course, fine. And then suddenly see some, like, people running away. I'm like, right, okay, that's a bit weird. Then I noticed somebody then jumped on the bonnet of my car and over the car. And I was like, excuse me? And then it happened again. And
what, a different person over your car?
Yeah.
Right.
So at this point, I've gotten out of the car to go and hit that person. I'm like, how dare you?
Mr. Non-confrontational, but
Yeah.
my car, bro.
Yeah, exactly. And it was at that point I heard everybody screaming because I was listening to music, so I couldn't really hear much. And as I get out of the car, everybody's screaming and running away. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
And then I suddenly see, like, a puff from a fire extinguisher in the distance. And I was like, well, it's clearly coming from that direction. I'm going to go find out what's going on.
No hesitation, I'm going.
Sprinted at it.
Did you even think about danger or what it would be? Or did you think it wouldn't be anything? Or
I had no clue what was going on, but I wanted to see.
Right.
So I ran at it.
I wanted to see, not I need to go and fix this. Fix her.
Maybe a little bit of both. But it was a case of...
You know it's the right thing to do.
Yeah, it's something over there is wrong. I need to go and see, maybe help. What can I do? Run over, and it turns out that I'm like 4th, 5th person on scene. And I've run from my Mini through a bunch of buses, jumped the, ironically, anti-terrorism barriers. And it's at that point I then suddenly see the terrorist is now bundled onto the floor. He's got like 3 guys on his back. And I'm like, what's going on?
Is it you that stamps on the hand?
Yeah. So I'm like, what's going on? He's like, he's just killed 2 people.
Fucking hell.
And I'm like, the shit.
Yeah.
And I can see he's got knives, like what looked to be like taped onto his hand with like electrical tape. So the dude clearly knew he was going to die.
Both hands, one hand?
Both, by the looks of things. Like, it's very blurry.
Yeah.
But like from memory, they were both, right? Or at least that's how my memory has.
And he's on the floor.
He's on the floor, like bottom of a frog pile. Everybody's on top of him, and I can just see.
So he's got sort of hands exposed almost.
Yeah, and I can just see 2 knives. I think, right, we'll see what I can do to help.
Yeah.
And to be fair, the first thing I actually did was I moved the fire extinguisher out of the way. So I was like, if somebody steps on that, they're going to break their ankle. So I quickly moved that out of the way.
Oh, she did.
Naturally. Saw the knives and went, well, I'll get that out of his hand. So I kicked on his hand. My colleague Stevie had joined me at this point, just started kicking him in the head. And I managed to free one of the knives off, and it bugs off London Bridge. So I was like, right, I'll go pick that up because the police will want that. So I went to go and pick it up, and as I'm walking towards the knife, armed police then turn up, and they've all got, assault rifles, I think G36Cs or whatever they are. And I look at the knife and look at the police, and I go, well, they're here for somebody holding a knife. I'm not fucking picking that up. Like, no, thank you. So I'm then turning back, looking at the terrorist.
Do you think that's actually what you thought at the time?
Oh, 100%. 100%. So I can remember.
Be there. Yeah,
because I can remember as soon as the knife went, I went, I'm going to go pick that up for evidence.
Yeah.
Went to go and pick it up. Exactly. Went to go and pick it up for evidence because the other knife went the other way up the bridge, and it turns out he was an undercover copper. He picks up and puts it behind his back, and is like hustling people away from it. I'm on the other side of the incident.
Yeah.
And when I've gone to go and get the knife, my colleague Stevie went the other way up the bridge, so we got split at this point. When the police turn up, they start then pulling everybody off of it. And as they're pulling him off of the terrorist, they then shout, "Bomb vest, run!"
Who says that?
The police. Like, they just shout bomb.
At any point, can you see what they're talking about?
Nope.
Okay.
I can just see a bunch of armed response in front of him, and I'm probably maybe 10, 15 meters away at this point. So I'm just like looking at it, and I'm like, what the?
Okay,
what
I'm just visualizing that.
Yeah. Probably, the door to your bathroom.
Okay.
Something like that. And I hear bomb, run, duck.
Oh my God.
So I'm thinking, shit. And you can see in one of the clips, I've literally, at that point, I've heard it and I've just jumped clean over the barriers. But this is where my brain takes over and doesn't think very logically. Because I had only recently, probably 6 months beforehand, been put in charge of the minis. They were now my minis, as in I was fleet manager.
Okay.
So I looked after the minis, looked after the drivers. So my now main responsibility in that second was I need to protect the minis. So I ran straight back to my car, thinking my body is going to stop the cars in a bomb blast or stop the bomb destroying the cars. So that's what my brain told me to do. So I went straight back to the cars. And as I'm sort of kind of stood in front of the car, like, the fuck am I doing? Kind of having a realization of just like, I'm about to get blown to pieces. Why am I standing in front of a car? I see that what I'd actually pulled up behind was a school bus. That was full of kids that were like 12 years old. Well, I said kids, girls. It was like all girls' school, had big glass plate at the back, and they're all hid under the seats. Because as I've run back to the Mini, the guy's been shot twice. So he's been shot in the shoulder, shot in the knee. So they're now all ducked under because they've heard people running away, people screaming, 2 gunshots. Nobody knows what a gunshot sounds like until you hear it. You're like, I know exactly what it sounds like. And I'm like, you're okay, you're good, you'll be fine. And then was like, fuck, what do I do? So I went straight up to the driver's door or driver's window. I was like, what are you doing? You've got kids on. Get it off the bridge. I went, oh, you've got the traffic island there. I was like, drive over it. So me and a homeless dude ended up getting this bus turned off. This homeless dude, I didn't think really knew what was going on, but he was, to be fair, helping with this bus. Like, he had a come to Jesus moment. It was just like, I must help mid-trip. So we get the bus turned off and then he buggers off down the bridge. And then I pin myself up against a bus because I'm thinking, well, bomb blast a bus might actually stop something. Like, that'll be fine if I hide behind this. And I'm shouting out for my colleague Stevie. I'm like, where the fuck are you? Stevie then sort of wraps himself around and we're then next to each other on the bridge. And I can remember I hear another shot. So that's the third shot. And I'm thinking, me and him just look at each other and go, we are no fucking use here anymore. We run. So we then sprint south off the bridge. And as we're sprinting off, I then hear about 15 to 18 gunshots go off. And I thought I was going mental. For the next 18 months leading up to the inquiry, I thought, because I said it in an interview afterwards, I was like, did he really get shot? Am I about to take the stand and say something stupid? Because I thought that my brain had played a trick on me. It was actually my court shoes going click, 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 click on the bridge. So I checked with one of the officers at the inquiry. They're like, no, we shot him a lot. I was like, okay, fine. So I don't mind going and saying that I then heard several gunshots.
So the 2 shots, the shoulder and the...
That was to keep him on the floor. Because obviously it's... I'm assuming...
Is that it?
Debilitate him. Yeah, exactly. So one would assume, yes. I don't know the full tactics, but I would assume we're not going to take his life if we can take him back.
No, because they don't.
And then supposedly from memory, he was like writhing around on the floor trying to get to his backpack, so they thought he had a gun.
It must be upright.
That must have been the thought. But they must have just got the order shoot to kill. Because,
fucking scary times.
Yeah.
Do you think it changed you?
No. Didn't touch the sides. Like I said, weird. It should have, but it never did. Never did. Because all I did when I got off London Bridge was people running around scared. Obviously, the Shard's been evacuated. All of the buildings have been evacuated. With all the panic going on, I'm still helping everybody.
Do you think maybe... So you didn't physically see him shot dead?
I saw him get shot in the shoulder. And I saw like a blood splat.
Right.
But that was the most that I saw.
Do you think, because at that point you haven't seen his victims, have you?
Nope.
At all. So do you think maybe that might be different if you'd seen his victims?
Oh God, yeah. If I was locked in Fishmonger's Hall and watched him,
I mean, just in general, if you've seen, I just think
if I'd actually seen the blood and all of the carnage caused,
how could it not?
Because they would be innocent people that died.
Yes, that's what's leading.
Yeah, so that would have given me terrors.
When
the only knock-on effect I had was for like the next 6 months, I had like a recurring dream that instead of it being somebody random, somebody came up to one of the minis whilst we were in a big convoy and started some stuff. So for 6 months, and my boss only found this out when I took it out of the car, I went and bought Breaker Bar and I left that in the Mini. So Breaker Bar, about that long worth of steel. So if anyone came anywhere near me, I would just smack them with it. That was the only thing that I had as a hangover. And then when I took it out of the car, nothing.
Interesting.
Just gone.
When the police turned up,
mm-hmm.
Did you feel that they had it under control? Did you feel calm, or did you think this is chaos?
I thought that they had it under control.
Okay.
I felt chaos. I was just like, I am all over the place. And like obviously everybody else was panicking. But these guys, like Arm Response in London, I believe are still trained by the Royal Marines.
I don't know.
So they know what they're doing. Like, they're not there to mess about.
Do you believe in the police?
Yeah.
In general?
Yeah. I don't like traffic cops.
No, of course you don't.
But I don't think even police like traffic cops.
I don't think anyone likes traffic cops.
No.
They're
Like,
a different breed.
yeah. But again, these are men and women that have a very difficult job, have to deal with 90% of the time scum of the earth who are just there causing carnage and nastiness and awfulness, and they have to deal with it day in and day out. And sometimes that's going to affect somebody, right? You know, if you're used to being called a pig or whatever it might be, day in and day out, you're always going to kind of go into a situation, whoa. Don't get me wrong, there are definitely bad apples within the tree.
There are in every world, right?
Exactly, right?
I mean, I dealt with a few that were in the medical profession and teachers.
Yeah. And you'll come across people on a reality TV show that are, but the police deserve our respect. Now, does that mean that, you know, I will always be happy when I see a police officer when I'm enjoying a road? No.
I was going to say, have you ever broken the law, Tom?
I've been caught speeding several times.
Have you?
Yeah.
Have you had to stand in court around motoring offences?
Never had to stand in court for motoring offences.
Ask me that question.
You have, though, haven't you? What have you done, you cheeky little sausage?
No, just I had a few issues come up, and as soon as I left the police, one of the first things I ended up doing was being the other side of a table, of an interview table. I didn't do myself any favours because I was a cocky little cow.
Yeah.
And one thing you do learn with the police is the attitude test is the first thing. And they went to interview me across the table, and the officer, because it was uniformed officer, was reading this interview's being tape recorded, da 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 da.
Yeah.
And I say, "Oh, have you got to read that?" Jenny.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, long hold charge.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I have had a recorded recorded conversation with the police in a police station.
I ended up in a dock.
Yeah, I wasn't that bad. I was 13 years old and they tried to do me for assault. I took some kid's glasses off because he spat in my apple crumble at school.
Imagine.
I know.
Liberty.
Bastard.
Do you think that day in November revealed anything about you didn't know, or anybody else later think, I didn't see that in you, Thomas? Tom.
All right, Mum. I think it
People pay for that. So.
I think it revealed a truth that it revealed a thing about myself that I'd always believed to be true, but I never actually had a reason to say that I would do it. So I have always said that I would rather lose my life to save somebody else's. So I would take the bullet. I would jump in front of the car.
Do they?
They would deserve it. My family, my friends, like
every member of the summit.
No.
Moving on.
Yeah, but yeah, so I found that out, and I was just like, okay, well, maybe I am kind of willing to actually lay down that.
I know this whole thing isn't something you really openly talk about. Why do you think that is?
There's no need to.
I agree. Yeah.
Like so I started social media in 2023. That was 4 years after any of this happened.
Yeah.
And the last thing that I wanted anybody to ever think about me is that I was bringing it up for some form of social clout.
Trying to get, clout, that's a phrase.
And it's like, why would I do that? Like, I'm not the world's most interesting person, but I'm definitely more interesting than that.
You are a very interesting man.
Oh, it's very kind of you, thank you.
Yeah, don't get carried away.
No.
You can't really speak on this, but are you still friends with Stevie? Do you think, did it affect him differently?
We were friends for a long time after it, and then we just kind of parted ways probably about 2 years ago. So we just, live in different parts of the country.
No problem. Life just, doesn't life gets
pulls you apart. Yeah.
Heights.
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about creepy crawlers? You're not a fan, are you?
Nope.
Anything else you got fears of?
Public perception of who I am.
Okay, yeah.
Always.
I think that's because you can't change it. I'm putting words in your mouth again.
No.
Why do you think
I think because in a world where rumours, lies, and other people's opinions travel faster than truth.
More interesting though, aren't they?
Yeah. Yeah,
Why get the truth? Why let the truth get in the way of a good rumour?
quite right.
Yeah. What's your favourite social media platform?
Oh, YouTube. YouTube 100%.
That's where the dollar is.
No, it's because that's where the most insight comes from. So you can learn a lot more from YouTube. You can understand a lot more about given people, personality shows. And I find it's very, very difficult to get a lot of information in or a lot of sort of joy, retention, learning, understanding from 3 minutes. Whereas YouTube, you can get a 45-minute video out there.
Yeah.
And like for me I would say that I consume a lot more of my content or anybody's content rather on YouTube rather than I do TikTok or Instagram. I'm trying to not look at short form at the moment because it drives me mad.
Yeah.
I could just lose all of my time. Whereas if I sit down for half hour with a cup of tea, I could do that. And as soon as the episode's finished, I can get up and I can go do something.
How do you drive? With music, with podcasts, quiet, silence, silence?
Mixture of all. Today I drove up in pure silence. Yeah. 3 hours in the car. Complete silence.
I've noticed more and more that I'm doing that.
Yeah.
Someone else I interviewed had said that they basically it's the only time they really get themselves to think. And
I think I know why. And I've said this for a long time, especially about myself. It's meditation.
Right.
Because you are focusing solely on the act of driving. You're listening to the noises outside the car, to the engine, to the tyres on the road, to what's that person doing over there? Is that person coming up a little bit too quick? And all of these thoughts coming in and you're registering them, understanding them and going, okay, process, remove, which is basically what meditation is, right? You're trying to clear your mind. So what you're trying to do when you're driving and meditating is you're trying to absorb all of the information around you, which is great if you've got ADHD tendencies because you can absorb absolutely everything. It gives certain people much more peace than I think they realise. And then having music thrown in there can kind of knock that off balance. Everybody needs a sing song. I'll probably have a sing song over the way to Kings Lynn later.
Which would be what?
Ooh, I'm a bit of a country lover at the moment because I love the songwriting in it. It's always about, the love of your life. Either she's there or she's left. Your truck, your dog.
Yeah.
It's stuff that I really like.
It feels real, doesn't it? It's real feelings and real vibes
it's
from
proper
people.
Storytelling.
Yeah, storytelling, yeah.
Yeah, and
as opposed to this word rhymes with that, so I'm just going to say it.
Exactly. And also, there's no real derogatory terms used within country because that's not the right way.
Because it wouldn't surprise me if all of a sudden you rock and say, I listen to a bit of grime here and there. I don't know why. I just think you've got this energy about you that is like, do you know what? Some days that's what's me.
Yeah, I mean, if you put Jeremy, man, don't talk about all that. I could literally go bar for bar. Like, I will listen to everything.
The team that I worked on in the police when I was down, so we dealt with Charmaine quite a lot. Because it's all sort of Edmonton areas, Edmonton, Enfield, and Jeremy and Skepta. Yeah. The boys used to stop their cars quite a lot. And I'd be like, why are you stopping us? We got tinny windows.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I didn't so much because I wasn't really someone out there stopping cars. It's not my life, but
no.
Yeah. Conspiracies.
Oh.
Are you big on it?
I love a conspiracy.
Do you? Favourite?
Favourite conspiracy theory is that this is not the first advanced civilization that we are.
Oh God, I need to sit down for this. Right, go on.
So the original advanced civilization was actually about 15,000 years ago. So the Egyptians were technically classed as the first civilized.
Okay.
Or advanced civilization because of the pyramids and because of the sphinxes.
Yeah.
There is believed that there was actually other civilizations that predate the Egyptians by a long fucking way.
Right.
And that there was actually a cataclysmic event about 15,000 years ago that wiped out all of the pre-existing civilization.
So where does it start again then?
So, kind of modern day civilization started with the Egyptians. So you had the Egyptians that then turned into sort of the people of the Middle East, turned into Romans.
But how did they start? They haven't appeared as an egg. So where's the first Egyptian? Am I being thick? Because I know I have a tendency at times to surprise people with being quite bright. And then they're like, Jenny, that's an incredibly thick question you've just asked. Like, I'll give you this. So only recently I found out that a pony isn't a baby horse. And worse, I know, I'm nearly 50. And worse, someone said I was something about the size of a tuna. I was like, is that big? Like, no, I
From end to end of this room.
I literally thought, I didn't realise we were doing cookie cutters out of a tuna. I
Yeah.
thought you'd get like one in a.
You're about to say one bluefin tuna would be worth about $1 million.
Isn't that crazy that I'm that stupid? Because there are other things genuinely I'm quite intelligent about, and then I rock up with something stupid like that.
But
anyway.
But yeah, I mean, like, how did Egypt start? Well, people settled in Egypt and built it up. That's basically the very, very simple answer. And it's the same as any civilization, right? But I definitely think that, the poles shifted at some point. The poles must have shifted when we were hit by an asteroid. The poles are magnetic. You can move that with enough force. You can move any magnet with enough force. But yeah, there's this guy called, I can't remember his name because it was a long time ago since I watched his stuff. But he's basically a archaeologist without being an archaeologist, and he gets a lot of shtick from the community about his findings. And he's found, civilizations that are about 18,000 years old. Yeah, and like buildings, like you go back. There's one place in Turkey, I think, that's about 12,000 years old that they've just uncovered.
Bloody hell. Flat Earth. Is the Earth round or flat? Just which one?
Globe.
Thank you. Correct. You can stay.
I thought that was a test. I'm like, which way is this going?
9/11.
I don't want to believe that it was an inside job. I want to believe the story that we're told, because that means that the American government isn't evil enough to do something that atrocious to its own people. But governments throughout the years around the world have been capable
keep proving themselves that they can be.
Well, yeah.
Did we land on the moon? Not now. Last time.
We just went around it.
We didn't. Yeah. No button moon landing, was there? If that means anything to you about Mars.
Again, I want to say that we did, but you look at the technology available.
I want to tell myself that looking at the footage, stop that. Just can't. Surely that's not
live
real.
Fucking footage. Bullshit. My FaceTime cacks out if I'm driving down the bloody A5 now.
Or A421 for me. You go down there and you lose everything.
Yeah.
So for me, and this is what I want to live with, it happened.
Yeah.
But they didn't film it because they couldn't, because we didn't have the technology. So they've mocked up to make it look like it happened.
Yeah.
To show that it did, even though I want to say it did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Film it retrospectively and then.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't film it, but we still actually did it.
So we want to kind of prove to you that we did. It was dreadful, but yeah.
I mean, that's an argument I can get on board with.
Okay,
until it is proven 100% that we didn't do it, I'm going to say that we did. Like that's the thing.
Good to, isn't it? We got to achieve some things.
Conspiracy theorist is usually a dirty word. I just like to think, but I like to look at it as it's somebody that is willing to think. Because it doesn't mean that you believe it.
Yeah, you're not just...
Unless you're like, the earth is flat and I'm going to prove it. It's like, okay, you're just a dipshit. But like,
Most can't give you a real reason for that, why either. It's not, because of, someone once said to me, it's the earth's flat because have you ever seen anybody, whenever anyone flies from the UK to Australia, they always go over the Far East. No, they don't. Yes, they do. No, they don't. You can go the other way. No, you can't. I was like, oh my God, I can't deal with this. I literally had to show up flights to say, look, you can go LAX, New Zealand, round. People do it. It's just from here. It makes more sense to go the other way.
Because it's longer.
Why are people so fucking idiots? Anyway.
Because we put...
little rant.
Yeah, I mean, the simple answer is because we put vanity over an intelligence.
Yeah. Do you get recognised in places? You must.
Daily.
How do you feel about it? Is it weird?
Love it.
Oh, good.
Absolutely love it. It is one of the greatest joys of my life when people come up to me and they go, I watch your content. I love it.
You. Can I have a photo?
Can I have a photo? And it fills me with so much joy. Like, and everybody's really respectful with the way they do it. Like, I've never had anybody... To say that, actually, I had my first ever negative interaction the other day. But I handled it fine. He came up to me and I've recently done a bunch of adverts for a perfume company.
Yes, I've seen it.
Fucking
That's
bonkers,
I'm
right?
surprised to see that, but yeah.
Yeah, they're bonkers, right? And some guy came up to me and went, you're that guy, great. I was like, yes, I am. He went, those silly little perfume adverts, do you not find them cringy? And I was like, hi. But I literally just looked at him and went, it's lovely to meet you, chap. Did you laugh at them by chance? He went, yeah. I went,
My work is
clearly
done.
not that cringy.
Yeah.
And then he was just looking at me like, oh. And I just looked at him and I was like, right, do I scold him or not? And I just looked at him and went, next time you meet somebody that you recognise, I suggest you don't go in with an insult.
Lead with hello at least.
At least ask how they're doing. Because what you said actually kind of hurt and I feel a little bit shit.
Yeah.
Why don't you just be a bit kind about it next time? And he was just like, well, whatever. And I'm just like, have a good day. Like,
people don't realise their words, do they?
No.
It's not. I'm sure he didn't deliberately come in to say, you know what, when I say tell this is going to be funny, I'm going to tell him because he's going to think it's funny as well. I think his words cringy. No, actually, it's quite insulting.
Yeah. And it's, I love it, especially when I'm in the British touring car paddock. It's, I'm signing things every second and I love it. And Nadine loves it as well. Like the first couple of times it happened whilst we were out, she was like,
oh my God, you've actually asked her.
Yeah, well, I refused to give her my Instagram for ages.
Because you wanted to know that she wouldn't like you and not.
Yeah, I mean, she's not that way inclined anyway, but you don't know that when you first meet that.
Right? And people always say they're not going to be, and they are.
I know several people that have been with people because they are somebody. Famous. Yeah.
We've covered As You Were. We covered earlier that reality show is not your vibe.
Not at all.
Have you ever applied for one?
No.
And have any others approached you?
No.
Interesting. Are there any others out there that you would
actually no? That's a lie. I was approached for another one, but I said point blank no.
Which was?
It was about politics. So it's basically getting people that are from different sides of the political spectrum and handcuffing them together for 24 hours.
Oh, Jesus Christ, that's horrendous.
I'd love it.
Would you?
I love a political debate, but I wouldn't want it televised.
Okay, yeah.
Not because I think my views are heinous or they're extreme, but because I'm quite silver-tongued and I know how to debate.
Yeah.
And
I may not get painted very well.
No.
And you make other people stupid.
Yeah. And know-it-all smart-ass never comes across.
Tom.
Yeah, right. We learnt this with a certain bridge.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the only other one that I was asked about, but yeah, I just said no. If given the opportunity, I don't think I'd do another one unless it was like SES Who Dares Win.
Would you do that?
Hell yeah.
Now, this is interesting. Out of all the people that I've interviewed, 3 of them have said that show they would do. Yeah. One of them, I would say, is a celebrity. And he's no, he's not, but he is. They're known. Yeah. And then they said, I wouldn't do the celebrity one. I'd do the normal one. You can't just pick that. You're right.
Well, yeah, but I think that's the thing. Is like I wouldn't.
People don't want to. But now I would. I would. One.
But I'm not.
I'm not. That's how they feel too, and I get it. But
yeah, I get it. Like on the last SAS Who Dares Wins, there were a lot of social media personalities.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, they've got like millions of followers, so it's different kettle of fish. But
are they? A lot of them know from other reality shows, though.
Well, Cole Anderson was probably the only one that I can remember, and he's just known for making skits on TikTok and stuff like that.
Is it? Don't
know. But yeah, like
I know Angry Ginger. Yeah, but again, I think I know that really from. For me, I know that sort of type of people from doing research for doing content for other things. I've then looked at Sidemen, and then I've started to realise who Sidemen were.
Yeah. Oh, mate, they're massive.
I mean, ridiculous.
They're ridiculous.
I fucking love it for them.
I don't. They can't go out in public.
No.
Like, and I'd never want to be that one.
No, I was going to say that's a different level of it. It's also that as well. You literally can't go outside without a terrible photo being taken, and I'd be horrendous like Jenny. You need to wax your chin and all that. But like, oh, mate, stop it. What failures have you had in your life, and how'd you get over them?
Many, too many to count. I fail on a daily basis, and I'm okay with that.
You think you fail on a daily basis, or you do fail on a daily basis?
Oh no, I do fail on a daily basis, but I play golf very regularly, so I'm always going to fail. Right? I've made a lot of mistakes in my life, but the way that I look at it is everything happens for a reason. You learn something from it.
Make sure you do.
Don't do that mistake again. Yeah. And I am very glad to say that I don't make the same mistake twice very often.
Whilst I'm sitting here, your earring keeps looking at me. What is it?
Flat iron meat cleaver.
Oh, thank Christ, because it looks like an axe.
Yeah, no, it's
Jesus Christ!
so-
But you're wearing this on purpose to wind me up. That I'm looking at an axe, thinking, "All right, Thomas."
So I originally had a feather in there, and I did an interview after the London Bridge terrorist attack, and that was recorded on ITVN. And I watched it back, and I looked at the feather, and I thought I look like a colossal bellend. So I got that because I just look like every hateful hipster in Shoreditch. So I got rid of it, and then I missed having something dangling on the other side of my head. So I was like, I went to Flatiron, and they give these out as little tokens, so you can go get free ice cream.
Oh, Flatiron, the restaurant.
Yeah. And
It's a great meat, don't they?
oh, so good. Love a bit.
I would take those an ad. Any freebies come this way.
Yeah, please. And the waitress put it on the table, and I said, "Well, that makes a great earring." She's like, "You wouldn't do that." All right, bet. By the time she came back, put it in there, and I've had it in there now for 6-7 years. On the other side of my head. So I was like, I went to Flatiron, and they give these out as little tokens, so you can go get free ice cream.
Oh, Flatiron, the restaurant.
Yeah. And
it's a great meat, don't they?
Oh, so good. Love a bit.
I would take those an ad. Any freebies come this way.
Yeah, please. And the waitress put it on the table, and I said, "Well, that makes a great earring." She's like, "You wouldn't do that." All right, bet. By the time she came back, put it in there, and I've had it in there now for 6-7 years.
Yeah. So, what would you think is if you're struggling with something? How do you get over it? What's your pick it up and get over? What would you, if you wanted to share that with someone, what would it be that you would say, do you know what, when I have this problem, this is what I do to negotiate it. And if someone can take that and use it, fucking run with it, because I love that.
2 ways.
Go.
Number 1, go for a run. Punish myself.
Funny, I was going to ask you if you're a runner, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, not as much anymore, but punish myself. Like if I had a real problem, it's just like, right, you've got a problem. There's only one way to figure it out. Go out, do a 10, 15K. Just go and do it.
As you do.
Yeah. I'm also that hateful person that I would smoke 40 and still be able to go and do it. I once ran 10K in 45 minutes with a hangover. And I hadn't been on a run in like 6 months. I just agreed to do it stupidly. But
do you ever think if you're capable of that type of thing, what run you might have been capable of?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Like I've always been quite a fit and healthy person, but by accident, not by design. Like I've got a fast metabolism, and all that jazz. I remember I used to, when I was training, I would eat 5,000 calories a day.
Right. I wouldn't be able to get out the door.
One of those, 1,500 of that was a shake at least once a day, but 5,000 calories a day, did that for 3 years straight, was lifting every single day. I gained 5 kilos in 3 years. I'm a hateful bastard. But yeah, so either go for a run and punish myself or ruminate with a coffee and a cigarette.
Would you recommend that to people to do?
No, I'd recommend the coffee and breath work.
Okay. This is all about you can do hard things. We face things and we don't even realise it. And we push ourselves and we can all do so much more than we think we can.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think actually has been your biggest struggle you've had to overcome?
My biggest struggle.
And how did you get over it, other than going for a fag and a run?
Still not overcome it. And it's to learn to be okay with who I am and to love myself.
And to love yourself.
Yeah. And that's something that I battle with every day. I very much, I don't want to say never, because that's very self-defeatist. And obviously we can do hard things, right?
We can do hard things.
But that is something that I'll feel like I'm getting close and then I'll knock myself straight back. So, and that's something I've struggled with my entire life. So that's one thing I would like to be able to do, is to say that I love myself and that I'm happy. I would love to be able to do that.
You're happy, aren't you? In many ways? Or do you think that's the pursuit of true happiness in everything and you don't allow it almost?
I'm happy in my relationship.
Yeah. And you ooze that, and it's a beautiful thing.
But that's about it. I'm happy with the cars that I have. I'm happy with the way that I dress and the way that I act. But am I truly happy? No.
Do you think that exists?
Happiness exists in moments. Like brief moments. I can't remember. It's a quote from Yellowstone, actually. Brilliant TV show. And he said that there is no such thing as a perfect day, but you get perfect moments.
One of my things I'm desperately trying to, I tell people to do this all the time. I'm very bad at taking my own advice. So I imagine you're probably similar.
100%.
But one of the things that I really, really struggle with is I am so desperately trying to find the end result and get there. And I don't even know what their final place is.
Yeah.
I don't enjoy the journey getting there. And I think I've missed out on a lot of beautiful things through not just enjoy what you're doing now. Let's not worry and stop concentrating on what you haven't achieved or where other people are.
Yeah.
Your own journey is the most important, beautiful thing. You've just got to try and enjoy and just taking that moment to enjoy.
100%. And it was like, I recently went and did a film where I raced the Caledonian sleeper from Edinburgh back down to London. My own YouTube shoot. And I was in a Bentley Flying Spur. £250,000 Bentley. And I know I spent the entire journey worrying about how the video was going to do rather than actually enjoying the drive. And it's like, that is the crux of your point, right? I am driving a car that very few people will ever get to drive. And I'm worrying about how the video is going to perform.
How it's going to be perceived.
Yeah, rather than going, this is great.
What's your what is your highest viewed video or
highest viewed video was got it. A girl asked what the male equivalent is to being kissed on the forehead. So, like, say we're together and I can give you a kiss on the forehead. She basically said,
makes me feel warm and safe, and
She asked what's the male equivalent, and I said it's scratches. So, like, if you give a guy scratches up his back while he's driving, that I think across platforms is like 15 million.
How does that make you feel knowing that's not your core content, is it?
It's mad. All of the highest grossing videos that I make are reactionary videos.
Yeah.
And like,
it just shows you, doesn't it? However much time and effort you put into it, it could be something that's just quick and easy that's actually going to be the bangs.
Oh god, yeah. And most of them are throwaway videos.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't make them that often. It's probably why my engagement's kind of slumped. I'm only getting like 5 million reach a month at the moment. But
I'm embarrassed for you. To be honest, I'm going to sack it.
I know. Crap. Put it in the bin, right?
Yeah. Stop that.
But yeah, it's one of those things of if I find something, I'll react to it. But it's trying to find the right one.
I just want to say I am a fan of you. I do not regret acting you.
Good.
Because you gave me my fucking moment, because I didn't think I'd be around you longer. So thank you. And I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity to get to know Tom more. Because I do think you're a really sound, great guy. My tears were real, making my character about me again. But here she goes. Getting a bit emotional. But
babe, don't be silly. Give me your hand.
No, bro.
Give me your hand.
No, stop it.
Fine.
Right. So yeah, grateful to know you, and I'd like to think have you in my life now. So if there's nothing, I'll bother you with things. Basically, asking you about my content, what I should do with it, and you won't have a clue.
Gotcha. I'm always here to lend a helping hand, and as I say, I'm up in Norfolk every so often, so I'm paying up to Peterborough and straight across the link.
You do that.
Thank you for allowing me to come on and have a chin wag.
Oh,
because it's been really, really lovely. Because I haven't seen you since you axed me off the show. And
this is my moment.
But no, I've really enjoyed just sitting down, chewing the fat, and getting to know you. Like, obviously, I feel a little bit guilty because I've not asked you questions, but
it's not my podcast. This is about you. No one is watching this now because they want to know about me. Let me tell you that they're here. So if they want to know about me, then follow my socials. I'm Bobby enough. This is about you. This is your moment. And I've got a lot of love for you. So thank you.
Thank you very much, darling.
Thank you. Right. There we go. Thank you.
But most importantly, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you have a fabulous day. And as you were.